Hi, Hammers fans. Paul from Canada here. Just finished watching the Chelsea game at Stamford Bridge, and also finished watching the Talk a Good Game by Gio and Charlie. I was surprised at the tone of the Talk a Good Game with Gio and Charlie tonight. I thought Charlie was perhaps the more positive of the two. Because given our position in the table and our scrabble against relegation, we stole a point today. I mean, they had the ball in the net 3 times. We went to Stamford Bridge, a place we have not won in the league since 2002. We had no right to expect anything from that game, despite our excellent performance against Southampton a week earlier. My opinion, I think Gio said that Chelsea, this is the worst Chelsea team, and particularly in the last 18 months than we've seen in a long time, or worse to that effect. I totally disagree. I don't think they're a worse team. In fact, I think they've got some sweet, fantastic players. I think there's obviously some issues there politically behind the scenes with Conte and Abramovich, excuse me. But I don't think it's the worst team by a long shot. In fact, I think that if you look at Man City, Man United, Liverpool, Spurs, they are playing out of their skins right now, and the quality at the top of the division has gone up. And I think that Chelsea have not matched that. As simple as that. If this was last season, I think Chelsea would be in the top 3. So we have no right to go to Stamford Bridge and expect to get a point. So I'm quite happy we got away with one there, and we did get away with it. The first half, in my opinion, was diabolical by us. It was mistake after mistake, errant pass after errant pass. We just seemed to lack the enthusiasm, the pressure, and the desperation that we showed against Southampton. We seem to be at sort of 2/3 pace, in my opinion. Fernandes, that outside foot, right-footed pass, then he just gifted a Chelsea player, and that damn well nearly ended up in the back of the net. And what got me wasn't the pass. We all make mistakes, although we make our fair share at West Ham. It was the fact that he cantered. He cantered after the Chelsea player, never getting closer than 10 metres, just sort of tracked him into the box and then slowed down to watch what was going to happen. And, at Southampton, at West Ham last week, the Olympic Stadium when we played Southampton, Fernandes was fabulous. I was worried when he came on, and worried when, Antonio went off. Obviously, it looks serious for him. And I wasn't sure after all that time out how he was going to do in such a massive and critical game for us. And he was wonderful in that game. Halfway through the week, buoyed no doubt by his good performance at Southampton, he gave an interview and said, I'm looking forward to the Chelsea game. I want to test myself against the best. Well, Fernandes, you didn't really come out of it too well today. And the reason I'm honing in on some of the players is I'm amazed that there's a definite anti-Moyes feeling out there at the fan base right now. Given the squad we have, I can't find much to criticize him about. I don't care about how we're playing right now. I care about getting points and staying up. We can do all the worrying and the head scratching and the purchasing. It's going to have to happen. The culling of the deadwood and the finer details. We're in no position to be pointing fingers at David Moyes right now. He has shown that at Everton we're a top 8, top 7, top 6 side for years under him. For years. He could get us there too. Yes, he's slightly defensively minded, but I've seen some good football at Southampton, and I saw some good football in the second half. It was like a cup final at times, end-to-end stuff today. So, given all of that, beggars can't be choosers, and we are very much the beggars right now. So I'm finding it really hard to swallow any criticism of Moyes right now. No, he's not perfect. He was certainly not my pick, but given what's out there, given what Southampton picked up, we're not doing too badly. Thanks. I can't criticize his substitutions today. He got it spot on with Evra for Cresswell. I would have done the same. We're playing Chelsea at their place. You lose a defender. Who else do we have to bring on? You're going to bring on Hernandez? I don't think so. That is going to unbalance the side, just as we started playing quite well in the second half. I'm not going to bring Hernandez on for a defender because we don't have the midfield to be able to soak up the pressure, and that was obvious today, that Chelsea can throw at us. So the forwards were isolated. Arnautovic was at times frustrated. And why was he frustrated? There was no connection between, again, the stern of the ship and the bow of the ship, because the control tower in the middle there, the bridge, we'll call it, ooh, there's a pun, the bridge was not able to function. We were overawed, overpowered, outplayed, outthought. And so to bring on another attacker for a defender made no sense. So who else did we have to bring on? Evra. Well, not perfect, but, he came on and he did a job. Not that, what's his name? Here we go. Cresswell. Sorry about that. Brain fart. Not that Cresswell was any great shakes today. He had his issues too. However, we brought on Hernandez on the 68th, 69th minute as a super sub. And that's the way I think he should be played. He is an impact player. He was played like that under Fergie. He never was a regular starter week in, week out at Manchester United, even in his prime. And I certainly don't think, given his illness last week and so on, he should have started this week anyway. I think that was the perfect time to bring him on after we had managed to, steady the ship, withstand the terrible demolition we were taking, and get that, their fans were starting to get a little bit jeery. Perfect time to bring him on. You can't fault Moyes for that. It was he brought him on, he made the call, and he scored the goal. Credit where credit is due, please. The man did it. Like I said, Hernandez capable of a magic trick. He's a pull a bunny out of a hat sort of person, but he's not the game-long grafter that we need at the moment. Certainly with a midfield like we've got. He's a luxury player, and when next year we get those 2 or 3 wonderful midfielders we're going to get, and if we manage to hold on to Hernandez, then, well, maybe he can start. I don't know, but not right now for me, thanks very much. I thought Arnie and Masuaku were fabulous again. I disagree with Charlie about being disappointed with Masuaku. I saw him give the ball away once, and it wasn't critical, it wasn't crazy. You do take a risk when you run at players, and you show that spark, but he got down that left side, and there were a couple of crosses he made that were absolutely beautiful. And on any other day, Arnautovic may have volleyed that one in again. Like Charlie said, a little disappointing that he didn't do it, but at the same time, you can see it. He was a little far off to the right-hand side, perhaps, and with Courtois there, he knows it's not going to be easy to pull that off. Anyway, quite happy that we got that point. I thought Hart was spectacular today. I've not a big, ever since Adrian came back in, I was definitely pro Adrian for that position. But Hart's worked his way back in. Now, whether the motivation behind that, we all know he wants that England shirt. He's not going to get it. He'd probably be third choice, but he wants that England shirt, and he is working hard. I thought against Southampton, though, there were a couple of suspect times again. They didn't have that many attacks, and it's when the ball comes in and he drops it. He stops it, drops it, and has to scoop it again. That's what I find alarming about him. And a kick today. Where did that kick in the critical last 5 minutes that we have to time waste? I've got to say, a few of our players lost their heads. He was one of them. Kicked the ball, it went off the side, it was their throw-in. Not even, I think it was just around the halfway line. Then we had that corner. What on earth was Hernandez doing? He just basically played a back pass along the line straight to the goalkeeper. I thought the original idea of 2 of them being in the corner and time wasting was fantastic, but he took the ball, turned it, and straight along to the goalkeeper. Some chats need to take place there. Couple of things that came up. Antonio last week, given that was a huge match for us, fabulous win, but a huge match. We have pulled a gap, and that is, one more win, and I would go as far as saying we're safe. and it has to be against Stoke because I cannot see who else it's going to be against, given our opposition. You never know. But we got away with something today. Don't know if that's going to happen again. But anyway, we're going to be playing Stoke, and we need that 3 points. It's going to be very, very critical that we win that one. And, another team went to London today, Southampton, a direct rival. They lost 3-2. So there's another reason for us to be very, very happy with this point we got today. I don't think there was any real chance that we were going to come away from Stamford Bridge with 3 points, even though we played wonderfully at Southampton. Chelsea are not Southampton, and we are West Ham right now. It's not that pretty to look at. Anyway, it's a short one today for me. Really pleased with the last 2 results. Just hoping that we can cash in on Stoke. Do not know where we're going to get any points from. I think Man U are at our place. You never know. But they're going to make it very, very hard for us to get anything out of them. Man City, given the week they've had, I don't think there'll be any mood for them to be generous in our direction. Arsenal, perhaps the only other team I can think of. Leicester away, you never know. I suppose we could get something there, but they're starting to play quite well. So for me, 3 points at Stoke. At home to Stoke, and that possible 1 point with Leicester, and we're safe. And that, for me, is a massive relief. We can then all start focusing on what needs to happen at the club. And I'm really impressed with the fans that they have taken a hiatus, a pause from the events of 2 or 3 games ago now, and are supporting the team, are pushing hard. And but I do think that they have every right to put the pressure back on the board afterwards. And I know that the board are not going to leave. There's no way, they own it. But to put and maintain pressure on them to get a semi-independent director of football that has some sort of goal and plan, and completely and absolutely no strings attached when it comes to buying players, apart from the price, right? I mean, obviously, you're the owner. You're going to say you've got 50 million, whatever it is. But for a net spend of 13 million last year, we just came away from Stamford Bridge with a point. I think the commentators said that Morata was 58 million. One of them anyway was 58 million, which was more than the entire cost of our team, the 11 players on the pitch today. So I can't agree with Gio. The disappointment, the negativity, about Moyes or tactics or anything else. I think we set up perfectly. We didn't execute very well in the first half, but I can't blame Moyes for that. The players have shown that they're capable of going AWOL all year, and I think that we were sort of just disconnected. It wasn't our A game. And I know we were playing Chelsea, but we can play better than that. We don't actually have to give the ball away, do we? Pass to people who are under pressure, etc., etc. So, no, can't be disappointed with that. Come on, you Irons, and let's get 3-4 more points, and we are safe. And then the conversations have to start, for sure. Yes, I'll be relieved, but we need change. Come on, you Irons. Thanks very much.